Last time I made a video about the One Piece card game, it was kind of on the negative side as I addressed concerns I had with some of the game design. Despite how it might seem though, I'm actually very excited for the game's release, and as mentioned at the end of my previous video, I have faith that Bandai are going to deliver a high quality game. So today I'm letting myself get excited and I'm embracing the hype as I discuss 5 things we know about the One Piece card game so far that I think are really cool. The first thing that stood out to me about this game is Don. Don is this game's main resource for paying the costs to activate abilities and play cards. Why Don though? What does that mean? Well, I was unsure at first too, but found out that Don is literally the Don sound effect used at dramatic moments in both the One Piece manga and anime. Now, card games have used a lot of different concepts for their resources, such as energy, lands, and the player's wallet, but using a dramatic sound effect to pay your costs is so weird and so goofy that it's just perfect for One Piece. It falls right in line with the classic humour that Oda is known for. This little touch is the sort of unique element that helps a game stand out from the crowd. Don is not only the first thing on my list, but the second too, as while I like the design, I also really like the mechanics. There are multiple ways to use Don in the game, including turning it sideways to play cards, returning it to the Don deck to activate abilities, or attaching it to your character cards to gain access to some of their techniques. It even provides a power boost to characters it's attached to, whether they have an ability or not. The multiple applications of Don ensures there's more to think about when managing your resources than just, can I afford this? And seeing as a big chunk of TCG gameplay is resource management, having more strategic decisions in that area is a strong pro. The power boost also means you have a use for excess Don, so you can hold off on playing new cards and still get your money's worth from your resources. Overall, Don so far seems like a great resource system, and while I think it'll be hard to find anything that compares to the Chrono Clash system used in the Digimon TCG, this might just come close. Don isn't the only thing adding layers of strategy to this game though, because it also has counters. These aren't the sort of counters you place on your cards to mark certain changes to them, but rather they're abilities certain cards have that you can use on your opponent's turn when they attack you. Being able to interact in your opponent's turn is something I miss when playing Digimon, so it's cool to see another game that allows it. It may only be limited to certain effects you can proc after your opponent attacks you, but that may be a good thing as it stops interactions getting out of hand. Some of your life cards also have triggers that activate when your opponent damages you, but those are mostly luck based, whereas counters are largely down to skill and strategy, deciding which cards to hold back in your hand, trying to predict opposing attacks and setting up specific counterplays, and so on. Thinking about what counters an opponent could have and assessing how likely they are to be holding each one of those is something attackers need to consider when planning out their turns, and it's a good bit of extra depth to combat. It's important to note that if an attacking character loses a fight, then nothing happens, so you can't just completely blow out your opponent by getting their best card destroyed by a series of counters, but neutralizing important attacks could completely throw off the opponent's game plan and swing some serious tempo your way, which is exactly the sort of give and take gameplay that makes a card game exciting, gaining incremental advantage over your opponent as you push your way to victory. I am excited to see the interactive gameplay that counters are sure to bring. Now, I'd be hard pushed to make a video about the One Piece card game without mentioning leader cards. Leaders define your deck's colour and are the face of its strategy too, but they also help ensure that there is a smaller number of non-games where either one of the players is unable to do much. Leaders are ever present in the leader zone and are able to declare attacks, meaning if you find yourself short on characters, you can still try and pressure your opponent. In fact, I can imagine there'll be some decks entirely focused around attacking with their leader and just running other cards to support that. It would seem from the rules too that leaders cannot be destroyed in any way, so strategies that rely on stalling the board are much harder to pull off, and players are encouraged to play active decks that are constantly pushing for wins. The basic rules surrounding leaders seem to provide us an excellent method of preventing dull gameplay, and I think it's a heads up decision by the design team. The final section involves stepping a little more into the realm of the speculative, but could perhaps be the most unique and intriguing feature on this list. Aside from what I said about leaders previously, they also have a life value that determines your starting life total. So far, every leader revealed has a life value of 5, a pretty standard number for games like this, but it's important to note that nothing in the rules says this has to be the case. The decision to print life values on the leaders rather than making them a part of the core rules makes it clear to me that the developers intend to print leaders with different life values in the future. I cannot think of another card game that actively allows players to start with differing life totals as a part of the rules, so it's fascinating to see this potentially happening in One Piece, and it opens up a lot of possibilities. For one, we can have some leaders that are notably more or less powerful than others and use life values as a way to balance this. For example, having a leader with an incredibly strong effect but an LV of 3, meaning you start at a disadvantage, that adjusts for the power. We could also see strategies that rely on your life total, including the always fun lower your own life strats. Imagine cards that get more powerful the closer you are to death, combined with a leader that gets you a step or two closer to it from the very beginning of the game. This is a huge design space to work with, and we could see some things that I've never personally seen in a card game before, so understandably, it has me incredibly excited. All in all, I'm very hyped for this game. I was always going to be excited about a One Piece TCG, but some of the revealed concepts so far have me believing this game could go beyond just being successful and may stray into the realm of revolutionary. Even if you're not intending to play, it's definitely something to keep an eye on because I'm expecting to see its name up there competing with the big boys in the not too distant future. So what about you? What's got you excited for One Piece? What design elements have piqued your interest? Let me know in the comments. If you want to discuss the game with a larger community, I've included a link to a fan-made Discord server in the description, so come and join the crew. I'm also a moderator in the server, so say hi when you make it there. Don't forget to do the likings and subscribings, and also follow my social media, join my Discord server, and check out my Twitch channel for 5 days a week of variety gaming. All the links are down below. Thanks so much for watching.